Let's start out with Russia then, looking to, well, in some way, partially compensate for this Western embargo against it over Ukraine by what? Trying to sort of drum up business with other countries?
That's exactly what they're trying to do, Mark. With Egypt in particular, President Vladimir Putin met with his Egyptian counterpart Abdel Fattah el-Sisi in Sochi, where he said that Moscow would welcome more Egyptian imports while increasing its own grain exports to Egypt this year. Russia's agriculture minister said that agricultural imports from Egypt could be doubled. He said that imports from Brazil would be stepped up as well. 100 Brazilian food producers have received permission to export to the Russian market over the past week. Last week, of course, Russia imposed a one-year ban on imports of meat, fish, dairy, fruit and vegetables from the United States, the EU, Canada, Australia and Norway. This all in retaliation for sanctions over the Ukraine crisis. Now, on Monday, the EU announced that it would take measures to help its peach and nectarine farmers, whose crops have already been affected by bad weather conditions this summer, and they are now suffering the effects of that Russian embargo. Producers in Greece, Spain, France, and Italy will likely be given extra funds for marketing, as well as more government compensation for unsold fruit. But for some farmers here in France, those measures are too little, too late. Haxie Myers-Belkin has the details.
Harvest season is well underway, and the EU's announcement has arrived too late for some. In the orchards of the French Drôme region, new measures to support the peach industry have confused producers.
I don't think they'll be effective at all. They won't change anything for French producers.
Régis Aubarneau employs 40 seasonal workers. This year he's facing fierce competition from Spain, where labour is 50% cheaper. The result? The price he gets for his fruit isn't enough to cover costs.
This costs €1.30 for us to produce. That's €1.30 not counting everything that comes after. And the market is happy to pay us €1 per peach, but no more than that, which means that right now I'm losing money. I'm working but losing money, and I've been losing money since the beginning of July.
Up till now, the EU has provided compensation for up to 5% of all unsold fruit. That will be increased to 10%. Excess goods would be given to charitable organisations, but for industry professionals, that's just not enough.
The scope is extremely limited because we're talking about perishable products, so there needs to be a fast-acting infrastructure behind all this. But the Commission's measures don't respond directly to the peach and nectarine crisis.
Early summer's bad weather, the influx of cheap Spanish fruit, and now the Russian embargo on Western imports. The French peach and nectarine industry has a lot to contend with.
The ongoing tensions between the West and Russia are already taking a heavy toll in Germany, where consumer confidence has been dragged to a 2-year low. The ZEW survey of investor expectations showed that sentiment had plummeted to 8.6 points in August. That's less than a third of July's readings of around 27 points. Analysts had expected a much more modest drop to around 18. The fallout was mostly related to concerns about Germany's export-oriented sectors like machinery, electronics and vehicles, all of which are being limited by sanctions against Moscow. The economy ministry said it's a sign that Germany's overall growth could slow down even more than expected this year. Now, that much weaker than expected data from Germany has weighed on the markets. The DAX closed down over 1%, dipping quite strongly after a surprisingly strong start to the week on Monday. London and Paris also ended the trading session in the red. That negative trade trend is continuing over on Wall Street, the major indices recording some minor losses so far. Geopolitical concerns and that downturn in German confidence moving the markets around the world there. Let's turn to some of the day's other business headlines now. The European Commission has accused car rental companies of charging different prices for drivers depending on where they live. A potential reservation by a German resident, for example, would cost double what a British resident would be charged for the same rental for the same site. The Commission said that price discrimination broke the rules of the EU's single market and said it had asked 6 rental companies, including Hertz, Avis and Europcar, to review their policies. Philip Morris is preparing to sue the British government if it passes a law requiring cigarettes to be sold in plain packages with graphic health warnings and no branding. The maker of Marlboro and other cigarettes says it would seek fair compensation should its branding be affected. Philip Morris is already suing the Australian government over a similar law. And the media company BuzzFeed has secured $50 million in new investment from venture capitalists. The cash injection from Andreessen Horowitz will be used to expand the video production unit and open new BuzzFeed offices around the world. The deal values the site, which is best known for its lists and funny videos like this one of some very talented dogs, at around $850 million. Pretty hefty price tag for some light entertainment there, Mark.
Love the dog painting. We have a beagle. Maybe we should get her a brush.
Would be a lot of training, I think.
Yeah?
But it might be worth the investment. You never know.
Kate, thank you very much indeed. Kate Moody with all the business. Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, time for us to take a short break, but stay with us. More to come. You're watching France 24.